Hey, welcome everybody to the Gig App podcast by Para. We still have hit every week, but it hasn't been David and I in a minute, and we're live this week. So, and it's not Thursday because some of you might be going, "Wait a minute, is it Thursday?" It's not Thursday. David was kind enough to push this back a day because I don't want to tell this story yet, but when I'm out in Austin, I'll tell this story because I was just telling him, and it's painful, but when it's not as painful, I won't feel stupid telling it. But looks like I've had a
Right.
couple shots. Look, I don't know. Looks like I
Well,
came
you
straight
you
out
look
of the
you
woods
look
of
you look
Alabama, and
you look the same. You look the same to me, but I know the story. So
wait till I get there and open up my gums, and you tell me
yeah,
I
we'll
look the
go.
same.
We'll go. Well, I'm sitting out here and it's starting to drizzle, so I'm just hoping if people see me grab my laptop and run at some point, that's because it's my fault. I'll be sitting out in the rain. So
And that's the other thing, guys. David and I are going to keep this one short and sweet because it is on a Friday. We're going to try and keep this to a half hour. We're not even holding our spot. The spot's yesterday, but we're good. But I also wanted to drop the audio podcast. So here's what we got. I want to talk about this transparency. We'll get into that a little bit. I want to talk about Walmart Spark real quick. And then I want to talk about the Para app, and just a couple things that I was hearing. Want to get some clarity from David. It's not a lot. It's Para credentials, deactivations, which I already had shot down, but I want to address that. And then support tickets, and even like Nola Grind and some other people were getting to me about that. And then if you guys put any questions in and we have time, I absolutely, David and I will get to those as well. But David, what's up? How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. Should have wore my para hat to go matching today, but
Yeah. Well, I did blue shirt, blue
hey,
sweater, blue pair.
yeah,
Two missing teeth.
hey. Right, when you
The
laugh like that,
ladies,
when
I
you laugh
mean,
like that,
just know, ladies, I'm
when you
missing
laugh
teeth.
like that, I can finally see it. I finally saw it. There we go. There we go.
That's not the one.
No,
This
no, the
or
other side. The other side. The
this
other
is
side. Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah,
Wait, no,
yeah.
this. Oh, this is the one.
Yeah.
This one's the one that's been there.
Ah, there we go.
This one is see that bone even? That's my jawbone like flaring out.
Yeah.
But not like you guys care about that. So
Hey,
what's up,
Giggin,
traveler? What's
Giggin,
up,
you're right.
Giggin?
You're right. It's nice to work outside. Although, yeah, we'll see what happens. It might rain.
What's up, traveler? What's up, Giggin? What's up, Ellen? What's up, Kevin Hawthorne? How you guys doing? Yeah, so David and I again, or we're just gonna do a short little live here today. First thing I wanted to hit on, because I've been talking about this a little this week, and so I refined it for us to discuss, because since we met, and you and I met before all these other people I know, our main thing has been transparency, right? Even pre-Para, even before Para was a thing.
Yep.
You and I, when we met, we agreed transparencies were what's lacking. Transparencies, and if transparency were there and there were no AR, there's really nothing to complain about.
Yep.
Right? That was always our thing.
Yep.
Okay, well, so here's something that, as much as I hate to say it, here's some truth. Now that the Giants are performing as bad as they are, people are really getting worked up, and rightfully so. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but there's a lot of chaos and unsettledness, and it made me start thinking, okay, this is why I love Curry. I love the transparency. But then I had to look at other apps that are transparent. Yes, Curry is transparent, and it's very good to me. But you know what else is transparent? Instacart, Roadie, two of my most hated apps.
Yeah.
So again, there's neither of them has any AR. Neither of them penalizes me for not taking something, and both of them provide complete transparency. So
When's
are
the
we
last
okay?
time? When's the last time you did a trip on either of those?
I did an Instacart a few months back.
Yeah.
Again, I send, you know Lou and Mary, Long Island. And so I send them to Lou all the time, because they get they'll send me $30, $40 orders with like a $10 tip. I don't see those. Never.
Yep.
You know, my market's horrible. So I send my screenshots to Lou all the time, because he's like, can't be that bad. He has gotten to a point now where he's like, literally, you live in the worst Instacart market there is.
Yeah.
Now, that said, I think others do as well, but it proves the point of market to market, and you got to just follow what's working in your market, because it's supply and demand too, people. I mean, look, Instacart probably pays better in a market where they have less drivers, even if it's saturated, and more customers.
Yep.
That just makes sense. That's just business.
Well, here's how I put it. I mean, you asked, is it fair or is it right or is it good enough? on my end, it's like it's good that you have the right. You can make an informed decision. You don't do much work on there.
And you're not
thing.
penalized.
Yeah, until something hits that you're willing to do, and then you do it, right?
Mhm.
Does it make it great if that's your primary source of income? Certainly not, right? So it's a right. It's better that it's there than it's not, but that still doesn't make the working on it great,
No, no,
right?
I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
But what
but
you and I were
it's
fighting for
better.
from
It's
day
better than
one
not.
was
It's better than not have.
transparency.
It's better than not having it, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not condoning them like Instacart going to $8 base pay, to $7 base pay, to $4 base pay without a tip. Like you might be shopping for 100 items or 100 units with a $4 base pay. Now, I think that's unlikely because usually the 4 is when it's stacked. So let's just call it 7 to be nice. If you're doing 100 units, $7 shop and deliver, and then you're driving 4 to 6 miles, that's an hour and a half of your time. You're going to do that for $7? Like gas, expenses, your time is only worth what would that be, like less than $5 an hour? I mean, to me, like, yeah, that's just a horrible decision. However, isn't there at better than um DoorDash or any of the ones that gamify and play games, don't show you stuff? I mean, I'm using Instacart too. You guys know I hate it. This is hard for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. I think it's better in some aspects and better in not others. Like I guess maybe this is like a weird example, but there's like countries whose rule of laws are better than others, but that doesn't necessarily make the country better. Do you know what I mean? Right? It's
True.
like the
No,
setup
true.
is better, but that doesn't mean the outcome is better. But it's at least better. At least it's a good thing to have a good setup, right? Like,
No, I know. I found, here I found myself in some discussions this week, coupled with Kim's side money plans and some other people too, but where I started really diving into this transparency thing. And I just wanted to bring it up with you because it's what we always wanted.
yeah,
And even the Uber and Lyft upfront pay that they now show for everything you need to know, supposedly. I think you and I have talked about this, David, where I think they've had an algorithmic gain now.
yep,
Uber had 10 years before they did what we wanted them to do. So
yep,
at that point, I think you make less off full of transparency now than you did before.
yep,
And they're able to go, hey, that's what you wanted.
yep,
And so, I mean, I do think there's a line there too. Clearly we need some answers. It can't just keep continuing like that. But at the same time, I do have to take into account who's being transparent,
yep,
because that is all the only thing that I would say that what I really hate are apps like DoorDash or any of them that hold AR against you.
yep.
So even if they're being fully transparent, but they have any kind of acceptance rating or tier programs, and that's what Kim had mentioned, is she's like, I'm a silver shopper now on Instacart. I'm like, wait a minute. Now
Yeah.
you just changed the game because now it isn't transparent because I didn't know there was silver dashers. They might be getting all the orders I'm not.
Yep.
So
that's
is
why I
it
think
transparent?
These
I
things
don't
are
know.
always more complicated, right? It's like who gets the order first, who gets the good orders, who gets the bad orders. So I put like transparency is like necessary but not sufficient, basically, right?
Well, I don't know when
Uh,
the last time you were on Instacart was, but like, so if I turn on Instacart, it tells me to go to stores now. I mean, it'll let me be at my house too, and I'll see an offer here or there. But if I go to like park at a King Supers or a Safeway, I'm more likely to see more offers. However, I honestly think the proximity doesn't matter. I think I'm still the last call. They'll go to the gold and platinum or whatever people first, even if
yeah,
they're 4 miles away.
yeah,
So I don't think so again, now we're at, is it transparent?
yeah. And I think that's what's really hard with all of this, though, is that like just by the way that almost all of these are designed, uh, it has to go to somebody. Not so. Actually, I take that back. For Instagram, it doesn't have to go to somebody first. For the Uber and Lyft and designs, it does have to go to somebody first, right? For Instacart, it sort of goes to batches by batches by batches first, right? So it's complicated. But what I hear from all of this, Steve, is are you going to be delivering on Instacart soon?
Well, I mean, like I said, David, I mean, like, and Instacart is one you have to turn on every day.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. Do I turn it on every day and leave it on? No.
Yep.
Because there's sometimes I have some curries or whatever, or I'm doing a pair of works. I don't even want to see them because they're so trash.
I'm waiting for the day where Steve is live streaming Instacart doing bad trips.
You know, you know what?
But at least
So
it's transparent. But
here's how I wanted to end this part was that when I'm in, I don't know, I think they do, but when I'm in Austin,
yeah,
that's where that's where 3 different people I know, Gig Life, Random Ryan, and another guy all rage Instacart. Well, I'm gonna turn it on while I'm there.
Yep.
I'm gonna do one in Austin, and I'm gonna see. Is
Yeah.
this crap? Because in my market, like, do I still get crap offers or do I
Yeah.
see actual offers?
We have a weird one here too called Favor, right? Which is I think Texas only, which is
Yeah.
basically like Texas only DoorDash, basically.
Isn't Favor
Sorry,
more like
more
a
like Instacart. Yeah, I mean they do
right?
both,
Isn't it more like
right?
a 7-Eleven and
They do both. It's
okay.
food and grocery, right?
Right. I thought
So
it was like kind of like stoner grocery though. Like,
I don't know. I
hey,
haven't tried. I haven't
like,
tried it
hey, you
yet.
can go to Walgreens or like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I haven't ordered on it yet. I just drive to the supermarket, right? But KB, let's see what KB here says. Amazon Flex is the worst when it comes to transparency. You have no clue where you're going when you accept a block. That's true. I've seen some of these blocks where people are just like, "Yo, it's taking me where?" right? Like,
But at the same time, you're I agree, KB, too, about the Amazon Flex because I know people who like Jason Thierry with the Gig Economy podcast. He's always talking about going off into BFE country out in the middle of nowhere on an Amazon Flex run, and it doesn't pan out. So the 4-hour block isn't paying what he hoped 4 hours would because it goes a little over. I know some people who get it done in 2.5 get paid the whole block. So at the same time, though, I see you said at least DoorDash, Uber Eats shows that, but I mean, I got to challenge that DoorDash one because DoorDash is the worst. I mean, DoorDash isn't showing you so many things you need, though. So it's like, yeah, they show you the drop off location, but you can't ever figure out. I mean, you can have a better idea than back in the day, but you can kind of, you don't know, but you can kind of guess maybe if you get good at it as to what it'll be. But we'll see. Again, when I'm in Austin, I will turn on. I'm not going to spend my whole time doing it. Maybe
yeah,
after David and I have a couple drinks, I'll go out do a
yeah.
shot.
Hey, we can do a little competition. See who gets lucky.
But the other thing I wanted to address, because we've talked about this before, we'll hit on it for a little bit here. See if anybody in the chat wants to chime in on this one. Yeah, Kim took one yesterday. I hadn't seen one in about a week. I've seen 2 in the past 3 days, but I've been
Yeah.
recovering. So, they come in batches. But I also saw that DoorDash is losing its catering program, right? I saw that you don't need catering bags anymore. I figured that's because we knew the catering was dying on Instacart or DoorDash. But if they're killing, I mean, why not kill it off? They're not a catering company, and there are catering companies doing a good job.
True, but that sort of sucks because people like the large order program, right?
Well, there was something about catering bags not needed anymore.
Yeah, they're probably losing the mega large ones then. I mean, it makes sense, right? We've been seeing them coming to Peril Works to deliver,
right? And even the easy
deliver
caters and
that.
stuff who used to send orders to them, they're probably not as much anymore with all the options.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So it's like the large catering specialized ones are going away. It's interesting. So the converse to Amazon is shipped package. They show you the location, but pay. Yeah. I haven't done a shipped in a second. So.
Well, he's talking about Amazon.
no,
I see.
shipped.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And he lives up where they got that mega shipped center too in Minneapolis.
Huh.
Where like you can't shop in it. Or you can't shop in the Target.
We should try flexing here, but there's a massive Amazon distribution center.
Dude, I'm not. That's the one app. I thought you knew this. That's the one app I'm still on a wait list for after 3 years.
Huh. We could try here in Austin. They have like a massive center. I forgot 30 minutes north of here, basically.
Well, you better have an account because I don't. Yeah. I've been on a waiting list.
I need to double check. I'm pretty sure mine got banned, but like, I recently got banned. Who banned me recently? Walmart Spark banned me recently. Out of the blue.
Perfect transition. So here's
out of nowhere too. They're just like, you've been like spoofing all this stuff, and I'm like, bro, I've been trying to integrate with y'all for like a year. It's sort of wild that like it got banned now.
You know what? Here by Kim and my conversations, here's the theory, and we all know this, so I'm not saying anything weird. Luis just visited David, and Luis was Delivery TV was just on Kim's live, and he was talking about how bad it's gotten in Houston, and he knows this firsthand.
Yeah,
they're making room for the illegal accounts. They literally, Kim is under this, and she's not a conspiracy theory person at all. But she's literally saying that there's something very weird going on at Walmart, that they are okay with the multiple phone system of somebody shopping swapping phones, giving the delivery to the person, grabbing the other phone, doing the shop. But then she was saying, like, there's also employees in on this. She was saying that there's like all these theories about all this craziness and like how, she was like, I won't even, she's like, I've stopped doing it. And she at least had it on and would look for that occasional decent order. She's like, because I won't go in there. I won't go in and do a shop and deliver with my card because there's people taking pictures of you and like all kinds of weird stuff where she's like, I've just heard about people, their accounts getting hacked, their bank getting hacked, all this crazy stuff. And we know this happens anyway. And usually you get a call and they're like, hey, this is Spark. And it's not. Hey, we need your password. Don't ever give it out to those people.
Yeah.
But what Kim was even saying is it's becoming unsafe. Now, I went and did some of my own looking yesterday, and I found a couple videos that had drones above the Spark lot showing, these are YouTube channels, showing people running stings, showing the employees, bringing the people who are illegals. And they also have this thing, and I don't know if you've ever heard this term, David, ghost car. I hadn't heard it. A ghost car is an illegal's car that's being used on gig apps where the license plate is a temporary, doesn't match the car. I mean, this is like how serious it's gotten. I don't know why it's just Spark. I know that there's saturation, extra saturation in all the apps, but this is crazy. So, I mean, this is crazy to me that I think he's talking about the drones. Yeah, I saw him, dude. It's crazy.
I actually don't know what you're talking about, so I'm going to have to look that up tonight.
Literally, here's my point. Here's how I want to kind of put this, David, is that Walmart, according to Kim and other people that I've talked to, and again, Kim would be, I keep mentioning Kim because she'd be the last one to say conspiracy theory. But here's the thing, from everyone I'm talking to, Walmart should close Spark. It's not just downhill. It's not just on the fall. It's worse than a DoorDash. It is dead. Kill it and rebuild it if you want people to do it again, because right now it's illegals and it's unsafe. To make a last comment on that, I'll say this. For any of you who know Uber Lyft Phoenix, or Uber, yeah, I think it's Uber Lyft Phoenix. God, I hope I'm getting his handle right. Josh, if you have his link, or Gigan, if you do, if you could just, one of you drop it in the chat or something, because I don't want to do him wrong, because he put a video out. He lives obviously in Phoenix. He does a lot of Spark, and he has been talking videos about the illegals in his market. Well, it says in the terms of service, this can't happen, or they shouldn't be asking or something. And he talks about this, but he was in Spark the other day waiting for his order in his car. They brought it to him and they carded him. They're not supposed to do that, but they carded him. And again, this wasn't him mad. He's happy. He's like, I do hope they move to this. They should. So I think that maybe some stores are getting sick of it. The bottom line is Kim ended it with, just get off the app. And I mean, Kim doesn't say that kind of stuff. And her main word was unsafe. It's unsafe. This isn't even bad pay. This is unsafe. So to that, I say, I mean, I never got, I guess that's the other one. So Amazon have been on wait list for forever. Spark, I tried to, but then Tony, the driven dad, got on it. And so did Lisa before she had the baby. They both did it and said, don't bother. And this was like when everybody around the country was jamming on it. It just never did it in Denver, because both of them got on it and said, it sucks. And they both stopped immediately, even during like the heyday of Spark. So yeah, that's where I guess I would leave that. I would leave everybody.
I wonder, I mean, this is sort of been an evolving story. I mean, I remember Luis bringing it up like a year ago or like 8 months ago.
Well, he was just talking about it last week too with Kim.
Yeah, but it seems to be building and building and building and building, right? I mean, at this point, it's sort of like, when he first said it, it was like, okay, that's interesting, but like none of us knew that much about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems to be like, I mean, it's just ballooned basically.
Right, but it's also like,
why Walmart?
Why just Walmart?
I'm like, why just Walmart Spark? Is it because like,
well,
there is a niche because there's fewer Walmarts and everyone meets at the same place?
Well, it's also
Are
because
they just laxer?
It's also
like
because,
why Walmart? Yeah.
Okay, so it's also because, and I don't know, is anybody in here correct me with the correct word, because I don't know the name of them. If you're doing a wait in your car, they're going to bring you the orders. What is that person called? They do have a title.
Like a runner,
the person
or something like that.
Yeah, the person who's running you the goods to your car. that person has the ability to cancel orders. So there's this whole thing that Kim was saying about how they're in on it. They're canceling orders and they're making sure that they get into the phones of the illegals.
Yep.
So she was saying Walmart Spark employees are in on this. I mean, it's just, it goes so far. I'm like, to me, I'm like, yeah, maybe it does need to just be dropped in the sewer. I don't know. I mean, I don't do it. So
I don't know, the one thing I will say though is like Walmart Spark at Walmart's a bit of the Wild West, right? Like Walmart generally runs a tight ship, right? So that's why I'm like, are they people just don't know? Is it flying under the radar? My guess is just Walmart Spark as a part of Walmart is just tiny. It's like important strategically, blah blah blah, right? But like compared to the rest of
the
Walmart,
choir,
it's
man.
tiny,
This was my argument to Kim last night. I said, listen, I said, there's no way a company as big as Walmart wouldn't care about this. There's no way. And she said, I'm telling you, they don't. They don't care because orders are getting delivered for $1.
Yeah, it's just not on their radar. I think it's that, and also just frankly, Walmart Spark is like minuscule. Like Walmart's a whale, and it's like a minnow, and that swims in its wake, and the whale doesn't even see it, right?
True. I mean, I'm with you, man. That was my argument. But Kim if Kim's got a lot of information, she's good at debating something. She kind of.
I had a dangerous situation here the other week. Well, it had nothing to do with delivery. I was sort of like a random side story. Let's move on to the next thing. But I was like driving down the highway, and I sort of pulled over to this like brewery. And I drove down the highway for 20, 30 minutes, and I'm getting out of my car with my dog. This truck like pulls up behind me, like perpendicular, and I'm like, that's weird, right? Like whatever. And I walk by, and this guy comes out. He's like, "Do you know who I am, son?" I'm like, I don't know who you are. He's like, do I know who you are, son? I'm like, no, I don't. And he pulls out his gun. And he's like, I should shoot you and leave your dead body in the ditch right now. And I'm like, sir, like, why do you want to kill me? And he's just like, I was driving behind you on the highway and you sprayed your windshields with water and that water hit my truck windshield. And that's disrespectful. And out here, shit like that will get you killed. Right. And I'm like, sir, so let me repeat this back to you. You want to shoot me and kill me because I got water on your muddy F-350. And you could see he was just like, don't do
David
don't
is like David's showing you what he's actually doing. He's telling you what you shouldn't do because that's the type of person who right there might pull out the gun on David and shoot him. So
he already pulled out the gun on me, right?
I mean, I would have just. Why didn't you just tell him, dude, turn your windshield wipers on? You get a little free spray and.
Yeah, I told him I'm just like, let me just understand why you're trying to kill me, man. Right? Like, let me understand right now. And I think it spoke to him. But that was the craziest thing I had driving recently. I'm like, this guy's gonna kill me over nothing. I don't know why. I don't know why.
So I wanted to bring this up. I don't know. Again, I haven't heard this from anybody. I think we can move past this quick. I just wanted to show David because I want to be transparent and understand this. So this I got the other day. That my background check will expire in 7 days and I need to update my documents and that my insurance and the really weird thing is, we all know our insurance expiration dates. Like mine's on my birthday month. It's not my birthday, but it's on my birthday month. And then it's in November too.
Yep.
So it's like, I know that every year and I know we're not there to May yet. So it's like, well, that's not right. So
it's a good question.
I know that something was a little different with mine, but
yeah. So what happens with sort of para recruit, right, or pass is when you basically upload the documents, we label sort of the expiration dates, right? So like your ID is gonna expire at this date, and your background check is valid for, depending on the partner, 1 to 2 years after the date that it's run, basically.
Okay.
So what will happen is if those things are going to expire, the para system will reach out being like, hey, if you want to be able to continue to access other opportunities and unlock them, you need to re-upload your documents. I think for you, yours is weird. It's weird that the insurance and the background check are expiring on the same day, neither of which are correct. And I think the reason why is you were the first ever Parapass user, and I just bypassed you in the system, right? Like, so I'm pretty sure what happened is I went in when I approved your docs, and I just typed in some arbitrary date, which looked
David approved me without running the proper checks. I could have been a killer.
Which I guess could have been March 20. March 21st. Yeah, I guess Steve is actually the guy at the Walmart lot that we need to watch out for, right? But like,
run that whole ring.
Yeah. But I guess I probably arbitrarily put in March 21st, 2024 is my guess. But
Okay.
if you do see that for people, I think, it's a good, thank you for bringing it up, because I think
I
it's
mean,
important.
obviously other people will see it. I'm just pointing it out. When you see the insurance thing, that's an easy one. Just re-upload it.
Yeah.
Mine isn't going to be.
Yeah.
Shut up, Josh.
Yeah.
And but with the documents, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that and I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't know that you needed to do that, because I was trying to think, when's the last background check that's running me? I'm on Uber.
Yep.
So they should have ran one, but I haven't gotten any of those things in my email in a while.
So it's weird. Uber does it automatically. So if we're just like, hey, it's going to expire, what would basically happen then is you just go to Uber, look it up, it likely been rerun, and then sort of like re-upload it, basically. But the platforms now run it. MVR gets run continuously, and other stuff gets run automatically once a year, basically.
That's one thing I was going to ask you. I was just going to put it in your head before I come out to visit, because it's one of the things on my list is that, why can't the catering apps, and I know that's not what Para is. I know it's much more, and we're going to be talking about much more, but right now there is catering. So why isn't Delivered Para Works? Why don't you guys combine together where you kind of can run a continuous every year?
You can. It just sort of comes at a cost, right? And I think actually,
well, that's what I was saying. Like, bring in the other catering companies that we think are good.
So I think that could make sense, right? I think that sort of gets a bit. Yeah, I think it just comes at a cost to continuously monitor it. And here's where it gets weird. Remember, I mentioned in a prior one of these, I've been digging more into insurance, and more to come on that later.
And by the way, guys, I already know, I haven't talked to David about this yet, but that's a big issue right now, a big hot topic amongst the companies that many of you don't know. Yeah. Insurance is, and I'm not giving them a pass, trust me, but it is very costly for the companies at this point too, and I'm not giving them a pass. But I'm letting you know, like, something has changed. It's even changed with my insurance. So
but this is where it gets weird, is some of the platforms who are rich enough want to run it, but the smaller companies actually don't want to continuously monitor, because if they continuously monitor, and then you get in trouble, but they didn't action on it, then you're in trouble. Wait, so I'm so intrigued by this. I was like, what's the Rideshare Rodeo memberships?
So we're dual streaming. He must be on my channel. And like, we can't, because we'll talk about it, but you need to re-monetize the channel. It doesn't hurt. They're going to run ads on it anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
It was monetized. You need to hook that back up, because then people can be gifted memberships where they can get exclusive content. And I think especially for us, that might be because having unlisted events and Q&As that are smaller could be very helpful. And he also put the link to the Dropbox. By the way, guys, please upload. We're going to play one for David as we leave here today in a second, but that Dropbox link is to upload a 30 to 60 second video on why your first name, the city you're in, and why you prefer, and keep it positive, to be an independent contractor. We have a minute 30 video as we exit that I'll play, because a couple of you have seen it, I'm sure, but I'll play it because David hasn't. The other two things that I had were, there's a group of people that I've started following their channels. They've gotten to know me. Some are here in Denver. One of them is Terry, and a couple other women, Cypress, and some people working markets that I hadn't been in touch with. I got into their lives and I mentioned Para, and they all know me pretty well. And they were like, and then people in the chats were pulling out the old, oh, Para, that gets you deactivated.
Yeah.
And in every one, I said never once a proven deactivation. And then by proven, I'm not saying there were some, and you better prove it. Like, I'm saying, like, that was just a thing, you guys. That was hating on, or what, that was just trolling to the utmost. And I think some of you forget how bad the trolling got if you were around then. And if you weren't, I can understand the confusion. Yeah. I can understand you being like, dude, I wasn't around then, but I heard that if you sign up for Para, you get deactivated. We need to break that mold, because there was never an ounce of truth to it. And it would have nothing to do with it now. Yeah. But again, there was never a truth to it. And David and I put out on all socials, and if you got if you think you did, contact us. A couple people did, but a simple answer made it so that they were like, okay, got it.
Yeah. I remember because I get spam calls 5 times a day still, because somebody leaked my number to the internet.
Exactly. So somebody puts David's number on social media, his phone number. You know, it's like people got so mad and they didn't know what they were talking about. They really didn't. The last thing I want to hit on, and then we'll watch this video as we exit, because Dave, I want you to see it too, but is support. Now, Nola grind, and there was somebody else who was like, you know, I got no problem with ParaWorks. I just, the support, I can never get support. And then I told him, well, what was this one? He showed, and so him and I are friends, and he shared the screenshot. And he said, no, see, look. And I'm like, well, that's an ezCater too. So you got the two in communications, like ezCater should have sent you text. And I know it gets a little confusing. He's like, yeah, but this was me wanting para support and nobody gets back to you.
Huh.
And I've heard that a couple times. So when I'm in Austin, I do want to talk to you about that, because I think there's a way that I could help with the support part too. At least like I said, we talked about this before, making sure it gets routed to the right person so that maybe it's easier to answer.
Yeah, I put it here, but always there's me and Jess who runs operations basically. So I know it should be better if you reached out. We should get back to you better on the official channel. The good thing with us being a smaller company is just you like hit us up, we will fix it basically.
I mean, and to that, this is what I was going to add. I'm glad you said that, because I was going to say that Curry is the same way. Curry's a large company, but they still, you know, they have chat bots and things like that. But if like everybody knows I know people at Curry, but I've introduced a couple people to like almost anybody that's asked, and they want those people to call directly and fix things. So I mean, things with the smaller companies, guys, you gotta roll with it a little bit and help us, because sometimes we might not even know. Just saying. I mean, like
we should be better. We should be better.
Like,
we should be better at catching it, but you know, we'll get it sorted this way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when I'm out in Austin, Dave can get me added to this list too, and we can have one support that goes to all three of us. I won't respond. I'll just make sure that they're being routed to whoever it should be, and we'll take care of that. Because I honestly, David and I said this a while ago, support is the key. Every app doesn't do nearly as good as it should on support, but it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. I mean, they come in all times of the day, everything, but like we said, we have to keep this short today. So I'm going to walk us out with the video. I want David to see it. Oh, see, wait a minute. Here's Cypress. So before we do leave, it was either on yours, Cypress. I think it was on hers. On her live stream, she said there were a couple people in her chat saying, if you use Para, you get deactivated. No, you don't. And like I was telling you, Cypress, that everybody, I mean, like we had a couple people, but it was during the tip transparency days. So for those of you that don't know, we could never, not one person could ever show us how it was them. And usually we would show them, well, this, and this, and they'd go, oh, wait, it was like, even we'd show them and they'd get to but never was one proven. But there's a lot of features.
I think on my end, there was a bunch of people who got deactivated. I took every single one very seriously. We actually looked into it, right? And I think for most of the people, there was like one thing that got most people deactivated, and that was having a duplicate account back then for Uber Black and having a separate account for Uber X, basically. And that
I'm pretty sure, knowing her crowd, she was referring to DoorDash.
Okay, yeah.
And during tip transparency, and that's where I can say, no, nobody was. It just wasn't true. I mean, to be honest, and I think I even said it in her live, I said, listen, they came after us twice, 2 cease and desists.
Yep.
You know, but they weren't interested in.
But on my end, I sort of agree. Like, I took everyone seriously. We investigated. Most people got their accounts back. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like people get randomly deactivated all the time. They shouldn't. But from my perspective, you know, we were never able to find somebody who's actually got deactivated through tip transparency. And trust me, every single one of them.
She's saying yes, DoorDash. And it was DoorDash people in there, but she is saying that she did thank you. So you believe me and you signed up for ParaWorks. David can answer how long it takes to get you activated.
Yep. So the documents are actually only for the Recruiter Para Pass. So ParaWorks, you actually don't need to upload the documents to get work there. You just need to connect a gig account, basically. So Dashing and Cypress, like you should be able to access
Lyft,
ParaWorks if they show up
Uber,
Uber Eats. If the ParaWorks trips show up in your area, they'll just start showing up. The documents in review are if you want to use your profile to unlock work on other platforms, sort of like sign up with Google or Facebook. Cool, Steve. Let's see this. Cypress, if you have any questions, just sort of David with Para. I'm happy to sort of answer anything there.
And yeah, I'm going to put the video on, but Cypress, if you ever want to have me on too, I'd be happy to come on and explain how ParaWorks works so that people feel more comfortable with it too. So, but yeah, you guys, we're going to walk out with the video. If you've seen it, I still want you to stick around because it's a good video. And I put it up on the TikTok channel for Para as well. So you guys also, if you are on TikTok before it gets banned, get over there and check it out. So.
We need to stay independent. We don't need legislation or anybody changing where we're at.
I need app-based gig work, and I need to stay independent in order to have a livable wage and work-life balance.
Being an independent contractor allowed me to work the hours that best suits the needs for my family.
This economy allows me to pick up my phone, take some orders, and make over 6 figures a year to do it.
I'm not worried about all the things that, the higher ups want or my boss wants. It's 100% me. And I can do all the things that I want to do.
I am a single mom of 2 boys. I need to have the flexibility to provide for them financially, but to also be home when they need me to.
I use the gig app to help supplement my income as I help take care of my elderly mother.
Being able to work the different gig apps on my time as an independent contractor helps me give an advantage to my children for school activities and other things that my W-2 doesn't quite cover.
Please do not make me an employee. That is just not enough.
Being a W-2 employee is not going to cut it for me.
The freedom and independence of it to be able to turn on the apps, shut them off anytime I want. I don't want that to be taken away. Let's stay independent, let's not change it, and let's keep it where it's at.
Protect our freedoms, protect our rights, keep us independent contractors.